township, we will still be active here, constructing, drilling, completing wells. So we will still be here, and it's not dependent on this program. And then, as far as royalty payments go, I know that our land department has received a couple questions as far as the oil and gas section of the zoning ordinance reflecting in your royalty payments, and that is comparing apples to oranges. A township ordinance is not going to affect your royalty checks in the mail. They will not go up or down because of a township ordinance. We have a whole third floor of marketing people whose job all day is to sit there and analyze gas prices and trade and buy and all these great things, and they don't have any clue what townships have zoning and what they don't. So this is not going to be reflected in your royalty payments, and I just wanted to clear that up because I know we had received questions. And that's all that I just wanted to say. I will be here if anyone has any further questions for me and wants to talk to me after the meeting. I'm here, help answer questions, but just kind of wanted to talk and give our 2 cents on it.
Gordon Taylor with Senate Engineering. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to give you a brief update on the dirt and gravel road program grant application that you submitted. Previously, we had met along with Supervisor Prescott with the Environmental Quality Board at the site, and they ranked and felt that it was a very high ranking, that it should be approved. Yesterday was the Conservation Board's meeting to vote on all the projects that would be awarded the grants. And we emailed Ashley Wilmot, the Conservation Project Manager in charge. She didn't respond today, so I expect to hear any day, even tomorrow, about the award. Once it's awarded, they'll send you a contract to be signed, and then the preliminary and final design for their review will be submitted. But I don't expect it to be done until next year. One other thing to remind you of, when we were out there, the Quality Board and the Conservation District personnel indicated that there was another pot of money that could be used for the rest of the road, the 7/10 of a mile on the road for Jameson. And if you wanted to consider that, they felt there would be a good chance for that grant money too. But to make a decision as soon as possible, such that you can apply for the grant, and because they felt that that money wouldn't last very long, other townships would be applying for it. So it's the decision of the board whether they want us to apply for that or not. I don't know if you have any questions.
When do you need to know by?
Well, as soon as possible. I mean, as each month goes by, there's probably less of a chance that you get that grant money. So even tonight, if you want to take a vote and let me know.
Is it match required?
That's a separate pot of money. I'm not sure. That's one item they'd probably be concerned with. And if you want to wait till next month, then I can find out.
A motion you have to approve.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Chuck from Price Gregory.
We're doing a pipeline for Columbia Gas that about 25 miles long, 36 inch diameter, and near to look for a source of water to test the line with. And I guess I stopped in earlier today and asked in part about if there's any kind of permit. Now what we're proposing or thinking about to do is build a temporary water tank that will hold about 2 to store water for the testing of the pipeline. And it'd be probably, we'd have it for about, erect it, use it, and then dismantle it, and it'd be about a 2 to 3 month period. And we take water, get water from a nearby range pipeline, water line, put water in the tank, store it, and then at the time we need to test, we would pump water into the line, test it, and then at a later date, you know, like I said, I'm guessing probably October, pump the water, clean it, pump it back into the range pipeline. And again, I guess I'm requiring if there's any particular permit from the township or the municipality that would be required to do that.
Yeah. Under the proposed oil and gas ordinance, which we classify as an pending ordinance, this type of larger volume tank or water facility would require conditional use approval. We have conditions that would need to be addressed. In terms of more of a site plan, what type of structure is it? What is the ground that's being placed on solid? Does it require any kind of geotechnical study to make sure what precautions are being taken? And even there's a breach in the tank to contain the outflow of water. I'd be happy to review that with you, but under the pending oil and gas ordinance, this would be considered a standalone water facility that requires conditional use. That would be a short hearing in front of the board. The important thing is that you would present an application that would address all of the points in the application portion of the zoning ordinance.
Okay.
Where would I,
Is there an application form that needs to be filled out?
Well, we can give you a copy of the proposed ordinance, and I'll point you to the section where this is the information you need to constitute your application. An application form has not yet been divided by the board, but you can go through the application section to determine the contents, and you can just do it in letter form. Just submit it in letter form, and have it constantly application.
And I guess, just to make well, I think we're probably looking at if you went forward with this, it'd probably be probably very end of July, early August. So, if that be enough time to do it.
The property that you're putting this tank on, is it being leased by Price Gregory? Is it
You would be on the pipeline, it'd be on the Columbia gas pipeline right away.
within their right of way? That's where the tank.
It'd be within their, it'd be set on their easement within their construction. Within their construction is where the tank is.
Well, since we're in a unique position of having a pending ordinance that hasn't been filed yet, if you can at least give us the information that such a conditional use application would require, I think the board can be flexible in looking at that, having you answer any questions without resort to a formal conditional use hearing, and waive that, because it's a pending ordinance. They just need the information. They want to know that it's going to be safe, and that if there's a breach, that all the first responders know what's going to happen. And is it going to be placed in any houses, near any residences? So that's more site plan information.
Right. Now, as far as to make sure I get answer those questions, is there anyone I can meet with and discuss to kind of get a
Sure.
list?
You can come into our office, and I'll sit down, my associate sit down, and go through the information that you'd like to see, and if we get that, I can recommend to the board to take action.
And where's your office at?
Washington.
Okay.
I'll give you my card.
All right. Yeah, that's all.
Aaron Grant, you're up next.
Good evening. I wanted to talk to you guys tonight and kind of give you an update of where we're at with the project we started last year on obtaining and constructing an addition to the fire department, West Alexander. Obviously, we've purchased the property there, so we've got that investment in that. We've got our first pretty solid set of estimates back from G&D Directors in Novella. We have not got any numbers back on electrical or heating for the building yet. But the building and all the concrete work itself came in at $319,450. That's including a connecting portion between the old building and the new building, which may be put on hold. That connector was about $93,000 itself. So that may be something that has to be completed at a later date. I have been in contact with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, inquiring and getting the pre-application information for grants and loans from them. Right now, their percentage rate on loans is 2.75%, up to 40 years, depending on your financial status. On the grant side, this fiscal year, they have $0 left on the grant side. But at the time whenever we are actually ready to go on it, we're probably going to be in the next grant year, or the next fiscal year for them. With our population in Donegal Township and the median income in Donegal Township, we would only qualify for 35% of that total figure project cost as a grant. I guess the median income here is about $48,000. That's at a level that is higher than what they provide for money for. So that's something we started the pre-application process for. Unfortunately, we won't know where it's going to go until the application is done. Once everything's completed, we look at the finances of the department and the scope of the project. Then they would decide, how much of that project will be from a grant, how much of that project will be a loan, and what the terms of the loan are. The only thing that we know right now is the percentage rate that we charge. So that's something we're looking at right now. Right now we have in the neighborhood maybe a little more than $50,000 earmarked for the project. Once we get through some of the process with Department of Ag and see where we stand, there's some other funding sources that I'm going to be looking at. So I did want to give you guys an update on that. You supported us over the last couple of years in this effort, and obviously we appreciate any support you have given us and are going to give us in the future for this project. That's all I have.
Any public comment on the items and any public comment on the agenda items and non-agenda items? Okay. Adoption of Resolution 2007 establishing meeting rules, including rules of order, rules of conduct, and regulations for the meetings, an agenda, parliamentary procedure, and table of motions.
We have resolution number 7 of 2016. It is almost, probably 90% of came from Mount Pleasant Township, Hickory area. And what it is a resolution that discusses how the meetings are put together, the rules of conduct, the rules of order, what motions supersede other motions. The minutes, the agenda, and it's, again, it pretty much covers what happens at public meetings. And it's available here. I would move that the resolution 2016-7 be adopted and be made available via the website tomorrow for anybody who wants copies of it. If they want copies tonight, we'll make you copies tonight. We kind of tell you how we expect to operate.
Discussion, board discussion. How you vote? Yes. Approval of minutes of June 8th regular meeting and June 22nd, 2016 special meeting.
So moved.
Yes. Accept treasurer report, pay bills and sign checks.
Second.
Yes. Reports, planning commission. Meeting was held July 5th, recommended approval of campground application for 2 sites. Originally for Michelle Plant, suggestion was made to eliminate lot closest to the road.
I'll move that we grant the 2 spaces for the planning recommendation.
Second.
Originally, they had 3 lots on that location last year, and they terminated their campground, and they wanted to restart back up. And I guess one camper was pretty close to the road. This is across from McAdoo Service Center in Plainville, and that's where it is. That's the story.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we need to appoint 2 planning commission members.
We have received 4 applications. They will be available here, but I can move that we appoint Judy Noble of 620 Capel National Pike, West Alexander. Robert Morgan. I do not have an address, but I know some place. I think it's 727 Old National Pike, West Alexander. Lives on the Hunter Farm.
Yes.
Yes.
Report of the solicitor.
The last meeting, we had a discussion about the number of members on the planning commission. And we were informed that the ordinance said that there would be 7 members on the planning commission. And I made the comment that for years and years, we only had 5, for many years, I can remember probably back 25 years. If the planning commission was created by ordinance, in order to change that 7 to a 5, does it require a change in ordinance?
Yes.
Whose job would it be to recommend that the ordinance be changed?
Governing body, supervisor.
Would the solicitor have any role in that?
Would I have any role?
If we wanted to change the number, would you say you have to change it by ordinance?
Yes.
Well, we seem to have a fascination for going back in the minutes of February 22nd, 2005. Township meeting, President or Supervisor Richard Fiddler, H.A. McAdoo, Darrell G. Briggs, Solicitor Dennis M. Maker, Chief E.T. Ward, Sergeant Max J. Orbitz, so forth and so on. At this meeting, the Planning Commission responding to a discussion on the number of commissioners required. H.A. McAdoo made a motion to reduce the Planning Commission from 7 members to 5 members. second by Darrell G. Briggs. Roll call vote. Mr. McAdoo votes yes. Mr. Briggs votes yes. Mr. Fiddler votes yes. Mr. McAdoo, all that? Yeah, okay. That's just a point. It wasn't the intention of the board at one time. It's something that obviously never got carried out in ordinance that we could find. So down the road, that's something we may want to consider.
So you have. Police Department report.
I would like to attach this in the minutes.
Police Department report.
Yeah, can everybody hear me? All right, not that anybody really cares today, right? But in the month of June, Donegal Township Police Department provided a minimum of 520 hours of service within the township and Claysville Borough. Within those hours, we responded to 230 calls for service. We investigated 22 reportable crimes in the month of June that were reported that month. Of those 22, 15 of those investigations have been closed, 2 are pending, which means charges are going to be filed, 4 are still under active investigation. Officers conducted 28 traffic stops, issued 13 citations, and patrolled approximately 7,328 miles. I'd like to add that that's combined with our contract with Buffalo mileage and Claysville Borough. We had provided an additional 140 hours of contracted services with Price Gregory at their request for traffic control through Claysville Borough. That was to avoid property damage and inconvenience to residents. Gentlemen, I've attached copies of Buffalo and Claysville's reports to the report that I submitted, and if you have any questions, that's all I have.
Water and sewage report. Water and sewage fund reimbursement general fund for employees' first and second quarter wages, $6,860.84. Anybody else have anything for water and sewage? Road department.
Everything seems to be going good with the road department. Trying to do some ditching, the old 80 liver keeps going down on us. Tarn chipping's completed, and the handicap sign up on Highlands all taken care of. That's all I got.
On Buck Run Road, is that where the 80 loader broke down?
Yes.
When do you expect to get back to that? I haven't
We went out today, but it broke down again. We're back in the middle.
Ratify previous decision of the Board of Supervisors to function as a planning agency for the purpose of developing a comprehensive zoning plan in Donegal Township and refer the zoning proposal back to the planning agency for further review.
Just to state the legal requirements for the record, there was some confusion at the last meeting as to the appropriate agency that had been created in order to study the development of a proposed zoning ordinance and map. And I just want to make sure that the audience understands what was followed by the board. The preparation of a proposed zoning ordinance is set for the procedure for the preparation of the proposed zoning ordinance is set forth in section 605 of the municipality's planning code. It states that the text and map of the proposed ordinance, as well as all necessary studies and surveys preliminary thereto, shall be prepared by the planning agency of each municipality upon request by the governing body. A planning agency is defined in section 107A of the MPC as a planning commission, a planning department, or a planning committee of the governing body. Planning commission and planning department, pursuant to section 201 of the MPC, are only created by ordinance, whereas a planning committee is assigned powers and duties by the governing body. And section 201 indicates that the planning committee shall be comprised of members appointed from the governing body. So, in reviewing how this project was initiated almost a year ago, when the board made a motion to begin study and development of a proposed zoning ordinance and retained, I think it's environmental consultants, Carolyn Yeagle as the consultant to spearhead this study and this development, the board decided that the planning agency would be a planning committee comprised of the township supervisors and those members of the planning commission that wanted to participate. That's consistent with section 607 of the MPC. And I know at the time that a motion was made to retain environmental consultants, that at her suggestion, the board created this planning committee. It did not need to be done by ordinance or by resolution, but it was done at the direction of the governing body. So, in keeping with the proposed motion to ratify, I believe the motion speaks to the fact that for the past year, the planning committee, which has been the planning agency, has functioned as it was originally intended by the Board of Supervisors, that the appropriate public meetings have been held pursuant to public notice, and 607 only required one public meeting. I know that we've held more than one public meeting pursuant to public notice. So I think that just confirming that you chose to pursue this project comprised of a planning committee would be appropriate to at least ratify that in the minutes.
I will make a motion that pass this motion to ratify the previous decision of the Board of Supervisors and refer the zoning proposals back to the planning agency for further review. Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motions for zoning from committee reports.
In the past, we've had a lease with David Roselli, and of course David is the supervisor, to permit the township to stockpile stone, park equipment on his property that they own while working on township roads in that section of the township, the northwest portion. There's no compensation for the Ely's. We've had contract that passed at Mr. Ely's recommendation so that it would define who was, who was liable and who was not. Last year we did not renew it. It just slipped our minds, and we are choosing to renew it again if in fact the township needs to stockpile stone or park equipment. It was looking for safe places to park equipment. So if any of you folks out there have farm ground and would like to allow us to park equipment so we don't have to run from clear out of one end and clear back to the other end in the building, we can do the similar agreement with anyone here. We don't get to pay you, but we do. That gives us a place to park equipment and do stockpile stone if necessary. If you're interested in that, see us and we can get you contracts the same way. But I will move that we go ahead and renew this lease agreement with no compensation. On the same terms and conditions that we have used in the past.
Abstaining to the fact that it's on my property.
Yes.
Any other motions from the board? Office report.
We've had several extremely cumbersome public right-to-know requests, and we're doing our best to supply the information that we can. But we're finding it's taking extra office hours and extra personnel. I'd like to move that make a motion to allow the supervisors to hire additional personnel or extend hours as necessary to the current personnel in order to be able to supply the information requested. I'll make that second.
I guess a discussion on that.
Since we're the right to know portion, I reviewed the township file on the
Paul Ritchie lawsuit that's filed in Washington County, and we've identified those items that are appropriate for discovery under the right to know law, and they've been marked. So I'll hand those over to Tammy, and then you can make the appropriate arrangements to deliver them to the requester.
I'd also like to have noted in the minutes that on July 7th, 2016, Tammy Hines and Kathy Croft Wright come to the Township building requesting minutes for meetings. And according to the post on Facebook, that we got caught up in the Township shenanigans and ended up fighting with the power. There was no such thing. Whenever you come to the Township building to get minutes, number one, you need to know exactly what you're looking for and what you want. They obviously had no clue what they was looking for, or they weren't told what to look for. Tammy and myself and Sharon was there, and there was no shenanigans, and there was no fighting with the power to be. So I want that noted.